Episodes 9 and 10 of Durarara Season 2 seem like they've been building up to the big battle between the Dollars and the Toramaru gang, and I don't think it disappoints, but I still think there's going to be a little bit more to this arc and maybe a few more surprises. What I will say is these two episodes here are pretty decent. Episode 10 for me was kind of the lackluster of the two, but there are some important elements from it. First, I think the most important thing is that we're starting to learn about the actual backstory of Akane. We get to learn that she just recently found out that her family is actually involved with the mob, the Yakuza, and that's because all of her friends actually outed out this fact, because all of their parents are completely freaked out because she's associated with the Yakuza. And this scene is really interesting because she thinks she's really popular with all of her friends. She thinks she's just a really friendly girl, but really they're all just afraid that if they make her mad, she's gonna have her parents whack all of them, which is pretty insane when you think about it. And she doesn't take too kindly to the fact that her family is involved with the Yakuza, and it completely changes her entire view on both her mother and, in particular, her father. And that's when she decides to run away, get involved with Izaya, and get into this crazy predicament that she is in right now. And there was one more scene that I really liked, and that was when she was completely freaked out by Celty's horse, Shooter. And Shooter's face transforms into this, like, old-school 1930s, like, Disney version of a horse, and it just looks really funny. Episode 11 is where things really start to pick up. It's basically where the Dollars and the Toramaru gang start fighting. In particular, we finally get to see Chikage and Kadota fight, and it's a pretty fun scene. It's just basically pulling a lot of punches, a lot of violent street brawling, but it manages to be pretty entertaining, especially when all the other different factions come in, especially when Verona and frickin' Henri start battling. That is definitely one of the big highlights. That, and of course, Mikado is just completely losing control of the Dollars. You know, he created this massive free organization for all of these people to sort of come together, but it's sort of like becoming its own evil entity. You can't really, like, rope it in anymore, and really, it's just getting out of hand. And then you have Aoba, who's continuously following the weird shadow, which is connected to Celty. Who knows where that's going, and even he's pretty aware of what's going on with Izaya, so it's only a matter of time before all of these events eventually converge, and it's just going to be a big, massive explosion of awesomeness. So what's the rundown on these two episodes of Durarara? They're pretty good. It's pretty much just more of the same. I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you like the first season, you're probably going to like what you see here. It's pretty much just more of that, just with some new characters. But I love how this episode actually built up to this big event. Episode 10 didn't do too much for me, and I think the pacing was just a little too slow. But episode 11 really kicked off, and I just especially love this big rivalry slash bromance that was started between Chikage and Kadota. I thought that was really awesome. I especially loved when his friends actually came in and started helping out with the freaking homemade flamethrower. I thought that was pretty cool. That whole scene was just absolutely insane. Just the fact that all these different, like, groups and gangs and factions all arrived at this one part where just all these people are just hanging out at this park. And, I don't know, I just thought it was really funny how it actually blew up to those events. Otherwise, just more of the same, just more of the good stuff. What I will say is I did love that one scene where they called back that one guy who had his hair cut, which also got cut again in this one. The only thing I didn't like about that flashback is that it reminded me that the animation and the artwork was much better in the first season. If that's my only real complaint about the second season of Durarara, it seems like the production value has gone down just a little bit. And, I don't know, maybe that's just me, maybe that's just the way I look at it. What I will say is these two episodes were pretty entertaining, more so episode 11, but I can't wait to see what this is building up to because this whole season is going to be split into multiple chunks, and I can't wait to see where they're going to end. I'm not sure how much longer we have in this season. I'm not sure if next week is going to be the last one before we go on break again, or if they're going to go up to 24 and then take a break. We're just going to have to keep watching and see what's going to happen. What I will say is I liked both these episodes. Episode 10, I'm going to give a 3 out of 5, and episode 11, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. I just thought that one was much more entertaining, had a lot of great scenes going for it, and all these crazy characters coming in together at once. It was just absolutely insane. Not to mention all of the scenes with Masaomi and him finally starting to get involved in that really tense conversation that he was having with Izaya as well. That was a very disturbing scene where he was hanging out at Rui Horijibe's actual burnt-down home. That was really creepy and very ominous. So, pretty good couple of episodes of Durarara. If you consider yourself a fan of the first season or you like the light novel series, check out this one. It's some pretty good stuff. Thank you guys for watching my review. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And before you leave, please tell me what you thought about these 2 episodes of Durarara in the comment section below. What do you think of the 2nd season so far, and what do you hope to see from the rest of the 2nd season of Durarara? Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Make sure to also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. Thank you guys again for watching, and stay dandy, baby.